Welcome to That Sailing Couple podcast with Tim and Lauren. We're here on Thanksgiving Day, November 25th, 2021. And our topic today is we're ASA certified. Woohoo!
Whoop, whoop.
We went and took a class for our ASA 101, 103, and 104.
Still not sure what 102 exactly is, but that's okay.
I think it's just lumped in with one of the other ones. But either way, we can go charter harder.
We will get our certification in the mail in a couple of weeks, I believe. So
Congratulations, Lauren.
officially unofficial.
We're officially, unofficially
Certified sailors.
So watch out, guys. We got our training wheels on, and we are going to charter. We're hoping to go charter in Mexico this winter, but we'll talk all about that towards the end of this podcast. So we got a pretty good outline today.
Got some Trader Joe's Platinum Reserve Pinot Noir.
Oh, yeah, that's our wine pairing tonight is our Trader Joe's special.
It's not really paired with anything except for our sparkling personalities.
Yep. Okay.
But if you haven't tried that Trader Joe's.
Oh, yeah, they do have some really good wines out right now. They just released the
Platinum Reserve
2020 Napa Cab.
and the Diamond Reserve.
The Diamond Reserve.
California NorCal Kid approved.
Yeah, totally. They do a really good job at selecting some wines. I heard there's a funny story, I guess, there was a divorce, and part of the divorce was she got the wine business part of Trader Joe's, and so he does all this awesome wine and makes zero profit on it because
Hell yeah, girl.
No, it's he's fucking her over.
Oh, he's fucking her over.
Yeah, she got the wine business, so he runs it and doesn't make a profit.
Hell yeah, boy.
It's funny. I mean, I appreciate the good wine. Anyway, that's a little off topic. So, outline's not holding up quite yet, but so let's just start out. We did this class November 14th through the 19th. Had just amazing weather in San Diego. We took a couple travel days to get down there, as it was kind of a long drive, and we wanted to show up, fresh and ready to go. So we made sure we got down there enough time to just really quit focusing on all our day to day and get into the mindset of relaxing and absorbing and learning, and yeah. So I think we were pretty successful in doing that, right?
Absolutely.
Man, we had some check out Lauren's photos on Instagram from the Sunset Cliffs the couple nights before our trip. I guess it was the 13th and 14th. The sunset was just awesome. There was no clouds in the entire sky. And, of course, those weekend sunsets down in SoCal. I don't know if you're privy to this, but it is definitely applause worthy.
It's a social event.
Yeah, everyone lines up on the pier and the beaches, tailgating,
eating their Chinese out of their cartons.
We're standing on the sidewalk next to the local policeman that it stopped to watch the sunset with everyone. It's just a vibe. It's a thing that people do, and there's definitely some applause.
Yep, we're into it. We live 20 minutes from the ocean here, and it's a regular pastime of ours to go out and watch the sunset, but of course we very rarely have any company.
Yeah, I mean, there's usually a tourist or three that are out there, but everyone kind of gets their own pull off.
Down in SoCal at the Sunset Cliffs, it's a thing.
You're sharing space with everybody.
Social event.
It's pretty cool.
Yep.
So we're into that. We definitely think the sunset is worth applause, and just stopping and absorbing a moment is, you know, the more you can do that, the better you're living, right?
I agree with that.
Cool. So yeah, we did this thing with the San Diego Sailing Academy.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Mike Monastra. Yeah. He's like a 30-year captain down there or something like that. Father and son business. They used to run 14 boats. Now they've just got the one sailboat, and he's actually taking that out of charter right now.
Yeah.
And he does a 3-day powerboating class. But he, kind of what he told us was going to try and be more retired. So November 14th through the 19th, had beautiful weather. You know what? It was like 75 degrees every day.
Yeah, very light wind, but very mellow sailing conditions. Wonderful.
We got our 10 knots in the afternoon.
Yep.
In the last 3 days.
Wonderful for learning.
But yeah, mostly light and variable. So I think that was good.
Mm-hmm.
Like we were able to put the boat in all the positions we needed to, and like kind of, see, what was going on. And
yeah, it was cool. The conditions I feel they built the first and second day were the lightest of all 5 days. I think day 3 started to build a little bit. Day 4, we had the best sailing, I feel, of the full 5 days.
Yeah, I would agree with that. That was the day we did like 14 miles or something.
Mm-hmm.
Sailed all the way to downtown and hove to, and like
went all the way to the lighthouse.
Then we went all the way out after that.
So that was a good day.
That was a really good day. We got the flyover with the jets that day. That was cool. And those twin rotor, like vertically landing, like aircraft. Oh man, those things shake the ground. There's like 2 or 3 of them flying. Anyway, that was all super fun to just be, sailing with the Navy, I mean, I had a great time just like listening to the warships on the radio, and like there's always jet fuel burning over there at Coronado Island.
Yeah, it's really cool sailing in the San Diego Bay. There's a high amount of traffic, which is cool.
Yeah, a lot of traffic, narrow channel. And then, we were with the San Diego Sailing Academy. Mike Monastra, I guess it's like we were the last class. He's he's going to remain doing a powerboating class. And he's down there, he's been Kona Kai and Southwestern Yacht Club for like 30 years.
Yeah, he said he's had his captain license since he turned 18. And he and his father have had the San Diego Sailing Academy going for 32 years. So 2021 was the final year for the San Diego Sailing Academy, and we actually ended up with the final class after 32 years. So
right.
He taught.
Oh yeah, and then he said they have the sdsa.com as their website, which I thought was super cool to have a 4-letter domain and be like an early internet like adopter. That's super cool.
Yeah, super cool. So he's taught hundreds of people to sail on the same 30-foot Catalina sailboat that we sailed on. Her name was the Karina Del Mar. And for being a boat built in the 80s, she was in excellent condition, treated us really well, and we had an incredible time. Yeah,
man, I had a blast. So just go ahead and, Lauren, you did a lot of research and like picking out this place, and like there was a lot of reasons why, and I think location was a big one. So can you just go ahead and talk about where we were and what just talk about it.
Yeah, we had heard from some of our sailing YouTube friends that doing a live aboard course where you could be the only 2 people on the boat, which we were, other than the captain, was a good way to get the kind of immersive experience. So I was definitely shopping or researching programs that offered that opportunity. And the San Diego Sailing Academy had that format for their classes. So that was kind of box number 1 that they checked. We're looking into San Diego for a slip for our future sailboat or sailboats. And so, I think San Francisco is the closest maritime community to where we live, but the sailing can be a little bit more extreme, a little bit more variable. So I was drawn to San Diego for the kind of moderate, mild, beginner level sailing conditions, kind of consistent and reliable across the board.
Totally. I mean, I'd rather be calm and be warm than it be like really windy and be cold.
Yeah. So the format for this school, he has an office at the Konakai Resort and Marina on the tip of Shelter Island. It's the closest marina to the open ocean down there on Shelter Island and in that area. So you really can't beat the location.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Shelter Island itself is a little bit of a maritime neighborhood community in and of itself, which is pretty awesome. So we had done a couple of recon research trips before kind of settling into the 5-day class. And I think all around it was just a good fit for us.
Yeah, we totally like Shelter Island and Point Loma.
Yep.
And just that whole little community over there is just really neat.
Yeah. So across the board, the value, being with a 3-decade, like a sailing instructor who's been teaching people to sail for 3 decades, you can't really put a price tag on that, in my opinion.
No, it was cool. I mean, Mike was a really good guy, and he was a good teacher.
Yep. So yeah, the format, we're super, super happy we did it, and definitely feel like we got the value for what it was. So
yeah, like, and let's get into a little bit about like what that value is and like why did we take this class?
Definitely. Well, I think that, first and foremost, kudos to me for doing the research and picking a good school.
Lauren is so good at research. Like, this is one of her fortes, is like finding the best like experience.
So, in terms of, making the commitment to take the class, I think number one, early on when we were doing our YouTube, early on when we were doing our YouTube.
It's called Rumble now. Everyone's on Rumble.
Early on when we were doing our YouTube research, I believe it was Ryan and Sophie who had taken a live aboard class. They did not do it with the ASA because they weren't in the United States, but it's, I think, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like the Royal Sailing, anyway, there's a world
exactly
accredited program that's recognized around the world.
Exactly. So a similar program, and immediately I thought, oh, that makes sense. You want to learn how to do something, invest in that formal
and just
education.
Immerse yourself into it with supervision.
Exactly.
For a set amount of time and follow a curriculum.
Yep. And so, there's that. But then very importantly, the course gives us the credentials to be able to charter a boat by ourselves.
Yeah. So we're going to try and go to La Paz this winter.
Yeah.
If you guys have ever been to La Paz or been sailing in the southern part of the Sea of Cortez, please tell us about it. Connect with us. Lauren and I have both been sailing down there.
Yeah. So something we found out about the ASA 104 cruiser, what is it? Like live aboard cruiser or cruiser?
Bareboat cruising.
Bareboat cruiser. Okay. So something we found out about the 104 bareboat cruiser credential is that it can assist you in getting insurance for your boat.
Right.
Or getting a better rate for insurance. Or being
it'd
able
be like
to get
taking driver's ed or something as a kid. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So I think that, apart from the value of the experience itself, I think that there may actually be some financial return on the investment into the class. It may be minute, but it could be, something unexpected, which was something I hadn't considered before we went down to the course. And we're talking about looking at maybe some older boats, and we were asking our instructor, the captain of the boat, about insuring some of these older boats. And he said, oh yeah, probably no problem once you got your, certification.
Well, and then that was the other thing is like, there's somebody firmly embedded in the community down there that's willing to direct us towards people. Like he's like, yeah, I mean, I got a survey guy, like I got a rigging guy, I got an engine guy.
Exactly.
You know, like
so just like anything else,
if
networking
you need to hire a
is,
captain, I know a ton of guys. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
networking is a big piece of, you know, getting into anything new, coming in from the outside and working your way in. And so finding key individuals within neighborhoods or within communities can have
yeah,
a lot
your
of
network's
value.
always your strongest asset.
Absolutely. So beyond that, the accountability of the classroom environment, I felt was very valuable.
Yeah, totally. And like us being able to make the most of that, like, you know, being able to disconnect, you know, and focus on, you know, I mean, what he did tell a story about like having a teacher aboard, and, you know, he's like, oh yeah, it's like the same. And she's like, no, like your students want to be here, you know, like my students have to be with me, you know? So, I mean, that's, you know, that is a huge thing is like,
Yeah. So
I think we tried to like really want to be there, disconnect from our normal lives, fully immerse ourselves in this experience and like get the most out of it. And I think we did a good job at that.
yeah, if there was a question that we didn't know on the test, we spent the time to look it up in the book or make
Write
sure
it down,
that we,
revisit it, like read about, like, you know, seek those places out in the index and make that like our morning reading, you know, getting up early before the class to like, you know, we got up at sunrise every day, went for a walk, you know, tried to take care of our personal selves, take care of our health mentally and physically, and like to get the most out of the experience, you know?
Absolutely.
So yeah, we're gonna go sail in the pause.
Yep. So before we took the class, we definitely did some work on the front end so that we were as prepared as possible before we showed up for the course.
Totally.
So by the time we showed up for day one of the course, you know, we were pretty much like knew everything we needed to know for like the ASA 101.
We could have taken the test on the first day. I mean, we took all the in-book quizzes. We like really read and like dove into the vocabulary.
Made flashcards.
Lauren had her flashcards.
There's a YouTube channel. I think it's like How to Sailing.
Oh yeah, How to Sailing. He does good videos.
Yeah, he has.
I think they're down in the Virgin Islands or something.
Nice.
And like he and his wife live aboard full time.
Yeah, so he had some videos which were really good depending on your learning style. I really enjoyed watching the videos that he made where he kind of like just has some music playing in the background and some, you know, sailboat or ocean visuals, and then he's got the questions across the screen with fill in the blanks, and then it gives you a couple minutes and then it flashes up the answers to the fill in the blanks questions. So for me, that format for studying was really helpful, and I definitely watched, you know, good couple hours of those videos before we went down. So we kind of had the vocabulary down. So by the time we got there on day one, the instructor knew that we had kind of, you know, done our part to prepare as best as we could, which made the experience a little bit more, you know, immersive.
Yeah, I mean, he had a little bit of faith in us.
A little bit.
When we showed up.
He said if you show up to sailing class with a headlamp, you pass.
That was like, he said it was way better than showing up with high heels, that's for sure. So I can imagine, you know, some people show up and, you know, don't have the same attitude we did. But, you know, that's why we're going to be really successful cruisers and liveaboards, is because our previous experience has done well to prepare us for this, you know, in adventure sports and camping and I mean just all sports, you know what I mean? Being competitive, being accurate, being precise, like wanting to be like efficient and prepared. And, yeah.
Yeah, in terms of the provisioning piece, there is some education on provisioning in the coursework itself. And for us, we kept it pretty casual, and we kind of provisioned for breakfast and lunch while we were taking the course. And then since we didn't spend any nights on anchor. Every night we were spending in the marina. We want to get to know the Shelter Island neighborhood anyway. So for the most part, we just kind of took our evening walks and
Happy hour tour.
did the happy hour tour.
Yeah, so we know the best bars on Shelter Island. If you want to, I mean, I'll go ahead and say that just Catch has the best happy hour. They got a solid $5 menu.
Yeah.
You know, margaritas on tap.
Yeah, Catch has margaritas on tap. Yeah.
Strong ones.
So that was good.
Yeah, man.
That was
Those
really
margaritas were really good. Way better than the $8 margarita out there at Costera, which was actually a really cool
That margarita was
venue.
good.
It was good. I mean, I had the crazy one that I should have just got like a regular one with Grand
Traditional.
Marnier.
Yeah.
Yeah. Traditional with a floater, a Grand Marnier, and that would have been
Yeah.
the way to do it. But
Costera is out on Harbor Island, which you have Harbor Island and Shelter Island down in San Diego, and they definitely have completely different vibes. Harbor Island does have an incredible view of the city at sunset time. And
it's just right there by the airport. It's like there's hotels there with the Sheraton, the Hilton, once the Sun Road Marina. But yeah, it was just a little more,
it's not quite as neighborhood
like Shelter
feel.
Island has the public boat ramp. America's Cup Basin or Harbor or whatever they call it, right? Mm-hmm. They've got like San Diego Yacht Club.
Yep.
You know what I mean? The fuel dock. There's only like 3 fuel docks in the whole bay, and Shelter Island right there. Customs dock, fuel dock, San Diego Yacht Club, Southwestern Yacht Club, Kona
And right
Kai.
there
That's
next-
all in the same
Right there next
harbor.
to the open ocean, too.
Right, and that's the closest, it's the first channel, it's the first secondary channel that splits off of the main channel and goes left of the,
Yeah, so if we're going to be having a boat and a slip down in San Diego, and depending on what my or your work schedule may be for the next 2 years, taking our weekend trips out to Catalina, going to save us an hour possibly on either side of the passage, being on Shelter Island as opposed to on Harbor Island. Not to mention just a little bit.
Yeah, it'd save you a few miles every day.
Yeah. The
or
vibe's just a little
whatever.
bit more up our alley across the board.
Yeah, we just like it there better. Mm-hmm. It's cool.
Yep.
We like there's more like public space and, yeah, it was just more chill.
Yep. So at the end of the course, I think for me, I'm super interested in learning more about chart plotting and navigation. So that would be the next segue, education wise, I feel, other than just getting more hands-on training and making sure that we get more on water time like ASAP.
Yeah, totally. We probably should order a paper chart book of the Channel Islands.
Yeah.
In San Diego.
Yeah. We had,
and just to have and reference and look at, and you know what I mean?
I think it was the Davis reference
we're going to
sheets.
get those reference sheets that show like all the light displays and your traffic rules and just
your right away.
all the right of way stuff. Like that's going to be good stuff to just have on the boat. Yeah. Everybody needs to know this stuff. Anybody on watch, no matter how much sailing experience they have, they kind of need it. You need to be able to identify like what the lights you're seeing mean. And because that's why they're displaying them, right? So
and
if
you
you have a
that
card,
stuff.
There's only 15 scenarios.
Yeah, you should know that stuff backwards and forwards, but you always want to have that reference sheet to study and reinforce it.
Right.
And like our captain, the instructor of the course, he said that he used that sheet every single day of his sailing career.
Right.
One way or another.
Totally.
So that was pretty cool.
Yep. Definitely some good information, and like it was the particular like brand of cards or whatever that he said he'd seen a few different versions, and this one was like the best. What was the
I think it was the Davis
Instruments?
Yeah.
Yeah, he said they make other cool stuff like plastic sextants and yeah. like yeah, all kinds of stuff.
Yep.
Compasses, charting tools.
Yep.
So anyway, yeah, we are. I'm definitely a paper chart, keep the paper charts alive kind of guy. I mean, it's good. I like that. I used to road trip on paper maps. You know what I mean? Like, I'm an internet kid, but we would always print our directions off MapQuest because I was traveling before smartphones. So I still like to have, the Gazetteer book. Here we have these in the U.S. Here they have like a book that breaks down into basically like 15 by 30 mile squares of every state. They have a book for every state, and it's got all the Forest Service roads, names of peaks, like all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. So one thing that was cool about the way that our instructor structured the course was, for the most part, he had me behind the helm.
Oh yeah, Lauren drove the whole time. She drove us on and off the dock every day. I mean, it's got to be confidence building, right?
Absolutely. And having you doing most of the lines,
Mm-hmm.
And the rigging.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was by design, kind of teaching us to work together as a team. And it was definitely a little bit, like you said, confidence building and comfortable for me to kind of have my spot on the boat within the crew that we had, which was essentially just the two of us, kind of settle into our roles in operating the boat, and knowing that, for me, having a little bit more immersive experience on that end of things, and you having the immersive experience on the other end of things, I totally trust that anything that you were able to learn on a deeper level, you'll be able to share with me.
Well, yeah, and I like that. You know what I mean? Like I like the idea of you being in the cockpit and me moving on the forward deck. You know what I mean? Like, it just makes sense to me.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense.
Like, I would rather be jumping on and off the moving boat than you.
Yeah, totally. And I really like driving, so.
Yeah, I mean, that's cool. I know you're a control freak.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go on. Like, what's next with our, what does this mean? We are ASA certified, so what are we going to do about it?
Well, we're going to continue our boat shopping for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And we're definitely going to, schedule some charter trips.
Yeah.
So the first place we're probably going to charter is down in La Paz. The both of us have sailing experience down there and are keen on returning to the region.
Yeah.
So in terms of charter boats, I think you're going to find some cheaper charter boats down in La Paz than you are in, for example, the USVI. And
yeah, I think you're right about that.
Airfare for us is going to be, a little bit shorter trip to get from California, where we live, to Mexico than it would be to get from California to, the East Coast and down into the Caribbean.
Yeah, I mean, even from up here, I think we get down there. We could drive down in like 3 days, probably.
Yep, we can actually drive down there
from NorCal,
which would be fun, and we're looking into that. Ambitious, but
yeah, I mean,
doable.
There's an airport in La Paz, and we could cab right over to the marina.
Yep.
So
we're gonna look into that.
I don't know who flies in and out of La Paz. If anybody listening likes to travel down to La Paz and has any tips and hacks for us, we like travel hacks.
Yeah, pretty easy. I was looking into it. We got American Airlines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we're pretty good at traveling. We really like Todos Santos. We haven't been down in a while, but we used to go down to Todos Santos.
Yep, we like it down there.
I found some pictures the other day.
Ooh.
Of some sunsets in Cerritos.
Might do some Throwback Thursdays.
Throwback Thursday. Yeah, we stayed at these cabanas in Cerritos. They were really nice over on the Pacific side.
Yeah, it's nice there.
But yeah, so we went to this place when I was a kid. I took a Knowles course, and There was hiking, and then there was sailing, and then there was sea kayaking. And we traveled all the way across the Baja Peninsula by foot. And then we traveled from the Bay of Conception, Bahia Concepcion, around this point and south like 150K. I think we ended up traveling about 300 kilometers by boat, sailboat, and sea kayak. We had like 14 people. It was a whole thing. Like 4 or 5 instructors. We had like a fleet of 22-foot day sailors. And we visited these islands, Isla Carmen, Isla Montserrat, Isla San Jose, and there was just so much diving. Like there was so much marine life at between like 15 and 30 feet on these like rock reefs. And like, I mean, yeah, we spearfishing and just like, I mean, you didn't have to go deep at all to see just a ton of stuff. There was all these sea arches. When we were in our kayaks, you could paddle right up close to the shore, and there's all kinds of caves and arches and just really cool limestone and decomposing granite. It was a really fun trip, and I can't wait to go back down there. So if anybody else has some cool experiences down there, tell us about it.
Please do. I think we'll probably get down there within the next 12 months.
Oh, for sure. I'm thinking we should do this in like, February or March. Like early March.
Tim likes to act like I don't have a job, which I may not for very much longer. Who knows?
I mean, she's the boss, so she can just do things, and then other people might have to deal with it. Potentially. I've always encouraged this kind of behavior, but she rarely bites. So
we'll be making the grand disconnect before too long. The sooner the better.
We still have a lot to learn. We know it's like a lifetime endeavor. Like, I think that, I really want to dive into just more boat system stuff. I feel like one of the things I'm lacking in is like electronics, diagnosis of problems and such. I've built like panels for houses. Anyway, yeah, I've got some experience with electricity, just not much like low voltage troubleshooting. So I need to just familiarize myself with that, probably learn how to solder, and like I said, like conceptually, like I kind of understand some of this stuff. I just don't really have any practice. So,
yep.
Just keep learning,
Yep. Continue. We have some, stuff in our personal lives that's kind of like up in the air, not sure which direction things might go, but our boat shopping is definitely going to be a reflection of, how certain things pan out one way or the other. So we're keeping the boat shopping process kind of fluid, but definitely moving in that direction.
Yeah, I mean, we know we're buying a boat. It's just like we're not 100% sure on the budget and stuff.
Yep.
But it's like it is the priority, and we will be making sacrifices to make this happen.
Yeah, San Diego is probably the home for the boat. And
yeah, no, we thought about moving to Florida, but yeah, see what I mean?
We thought about it.
So anyway,
but yeah, I think for me, like the classes, taking the 5-day liveaboard class was absolutely affirmation that we still want to move in this direction.
Oh yeah, and that we can do it. There was just like, it was so confidence building, and yeah, I mean, we definitely got a lot of affirmation that, this is what we want to do, and it's totally within our reach, and
pieces are going to keep falling into place.
Totally, especially the more serious about it we get. So let's we're going to continue shopping. We're
Got our rooms
Well, we
booked
got our
for
eyes
the,
on a really cool boat right now. We're not going to talk about it though, but
we got our rooms booked for the Annapolis Boat Show.
we do. We fucking saw how much of a shit show this was this year.
We like shit shows,
We're big fans.
so we'll be there.
We booked some rooms. Lauren's like good at this too. So she booked a couple rooms on points. Baller. So stay tuned. We might be doing a giveaway. Or we might have to hook up a struggling YouTube couple with a
Sailing couple in need.
We could definitely kick down a hotel room to a sailing couple in need. So we got a couple rooms booked for the Annapolis Boat Show, and we're gonna come hang out. So we're looking forward to it. What else, Lauren?
I think that
We're gonna start trying to do a segment, just an update on sailing YouTube. So it'll just be a separate thing that we can maybe record, on Monday night or something, and we'll try and get it posted pretty quick. But we're just gonna do like a 10-minute rant on like what's going on with their favorite sailing couples on YouTube. Thanks for being here. If you're still listening,
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, and
We're grateful for all of y'all.
yeah, we're thankful that we have this weird ass hobby of podcasting, and that some of y'all have the weird ass hobby of listening to us. All right, we out.
Looks like another all-nighter when the sky begins to glow. 'Cause when you're hanging with the riders, one more tumble down that white rabbit's hole, and that's just life.